Welcome, jesters. I really should wear the crown. Anyway, so California, Washington, apparently there's something brewing in Canada. They all want to create some kind of exit tax. Yes, the greedy politicians just need to grab one last, pound of flesh before somebody escapes their tyranny, right? Basically, they want to bill people who leave these states. And this is probably happening, in some other places. And first question is, well, if there's no borders, then how do you know when someone leaves? Just throwing that out there. But anyway, you know what? We should all be appalled at the arrogance of these politicians, right? They're acting like they are owed something. The politicians are acting like they are owed something. They come with signs like, well, we've invested in you. You've gotten this far because of us. You built your business here. You got educated here. Blah, 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 blah. Right? And it seems like they expect a return. It's for what they invested in. It's almost like they consider people property. Anyway, well, I mean, they're leftists. Anyway, so here's the thing. Government should not be investing in anything. Really, government should not be investing in infrastructure, in people, in anything really, right? In the broad sense. I know infrastructure, different topic, but that's not government's job, because when you invest in something, you do expect a return off of that investment, right? And weirdly, it's our friends on the left that keep whining that, government should not be making a profit. Government should not expect a return, right? You shouldn't expect a return on the taxes you pay. Yeah, we know. we do not expect that. And just to clarify, transit should be privately operated. So yes, that's how it can and should make money, right? So the taxes that we pay, they're not an investment in anything. The government should levy taxes or fees, actually, again, another video, to fund the necessary and limited and proper day-to-day functions of government. There's certain things that really only government, which is just a giant collective corporation, should do. I'm talking about the police, the courts, the criminal justice system, animal control, I guess, and maybe a few other things, right? Like the post offices. Basically, it should be nothing more than fee for services rendered. That's it. On a day-to-day, ongoing, recurring basis. That's it, right? For all the money that you spend on us, for all the investment, as citizens, we don't owe you anything. We don't owe the government anything, especially the politicians. You politicians, we don't owe you anything. Nothing whatsoever. We paid the money, and we hopefully got less than the service that we were expecting, and that's it. That is the end of our fiscal relationship. So, I think this was, I guess, NDP probably. The Canadians, one of them was whining that, they invested $500,000, in someone's education, then they're just going to come work in the U.S. It's like, okay, so you're out $1,000. That's a Canada currency joke. Anyway, but no, so what? Shouldn't the goal of education simply be to provide the best education possible and let the person, and isn't the person then free to do with that as they please, right? It sounds like you actually are investing and you're now jealous that, what you put into a person, you're not going to get anything back. Like you're treating them like property. Again, they're leftists, they do view people as property, but that's, again, beside the point. So, no, just provide the best education that you can. Provide the best trash pickup that you can. Provide the most swiftest court proceedings as you can. That's it. That's where it ends, right? And I am thinking of California, and they're now trying a wealth tax and both an exit tax, right? So they're building up a double whammy over there. And I just hate to break it to you, California politicians, the government over there had nothing to do with why people are successful. And these are the worst, right? They say, these people, they built their businesses in California. We're talking about Elon Musk and everything, and then some of them, I think, have said, how ungrateful they are because they're leaving California. Well, you had nothing to do with their business. You and your government programs had really nothing to do with them building their business. People go there because California is beautiful. there's lots of nice places, and people just like to work and live in a nice place. That's it. The government really had nothing to do with it. But the thing is, the government has everything to do with the reason people are leaving. So, maybe you should look into yourself. But, if you're wondering why people are leaving, exactly what you're doing to them is why you're leaving. So, from here, in a solid red state of Florida, we look forward to watching you fail. We look forward to you doing these things and watching them being an absolute spectacular and quite hilarious failure. And I'm right.